Low-income households in Washington state will receive more than $40.6 million in restitution following a huge settlement with chicken and tuna companies accused of price gouging the residents of Washington. Now, the story highlights how public servants can actually act as, officials who serve the best interests of their constituents. Now, here are the details of what happened. So Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson's office reported that 19 broiler chicken producers, and broiler chicken just means chicken that's raised for human consumption, had been gouging their prices since at least 2008, causing customers to overpay the companies by millions of dollars. So he sees this happening, he sees the price gouging happening, and rather than doing what Biden did in wagging his finger at the companies engaging in price gouging, he decides, I'm gonna engage in litigation here, and I'm gonna win a settlement, and that's exactly what happened here. The Attorney General's office recovered $35.5 million as a result of resolutions with 15 of 19 broiler chicken producers named in the 2021 price fixing lawsuit. The 19 broiler chicken producers named in Ferguson's lawsuit account for approximately 95% of the chicken sold in the United States. So understand something, this not only has a positive impact for the people of Washington state, since these are companies that produce chicken that is purchased by 95% of the country, this also has a positive impact for everyone living in the country. This is great news because these companies were taken to task and held accountable for price fixing and price gouging. So, the remaining chicken companies are set to go to trial in October of 2024, but let's get to the tuna lawsuits because they're involved as well. So funds also come from more than 5.1 million from cases against major tuna companies. Those include a $4.1 million resolution with StarKist, a $500,000 resolution with Chicken of the Sea, a $100,000 resolution with former Bumblebee Tuna CEO Christopher Lyszczewski, and $450,000 in sanctions against StarKist's parent company, Dongwon, which I did not know was the parent company of StarKist, but I guess it is. Anyway, with that said though, according to the Attorney General, the executives at these companies didn't even want to be suspected of doing anything wrong, but clearly they did. So for instance, Bumblebee Tuna CEO Christopher Lyszczewski complained to other tuna executives before they began the price fixing scheme that canned tuna was too cheap and wanted to price artificially increased on customers. So basically, he hit up all of the other companies and was like, listen, why don't we all raise our prices, which is price fixing, and that's illegal. And luckily, the AG looked into this and found evidence of this happening, and as a result, decided to take them to task for it. And so it looks like there was action following the orders of this CEO because according to fishchart.com, which released a report last year, the cost of canned tuna has increased by more than 50% just in the last 5 years. In 2016, the average price per can was 75 cents. In 2017, it increased to 85 cents. In 2018, the price jumped to $1.15. The main reason for this is due to the increasing demand for canned tuna globally. According to the National Fisheries Institute, global tuna consumption has increased by 30% since 2000. And look, that makes sense. There's increased demand, so that is going to drive up prices. But in addition to that, they raised the prices even more over the last 5 years, specifically after they engaged in this price fixing scheme and colluded with one another on raising prices simultaneously. Now, Washington is the first state to hold chicken production companies accountable for their roles in price gouging. They're also the first state to do so with tuna companies. And so let's talk about the payout that people living in Washington are going to get as a result of this. So according to the AG's office, the $40.6 million restitution will be provided to every household whose income is at or below 175% of the federal poverty level. So here are some of the examples. And look, the reason why they're doing this is because the price gouging obviously impacts low income earners the most. They stand to lose the most and are the most vulnerable to the price gouging and the price fixing. So as a result, here's how the money will be doled out. A family of 5 with a household income of less than $61,495, they'll receive some money. A single parent raising 3 kids on an income of $52,500 or less. A single parent with 2 children making less than $43,505 per year. A single parent of 1 or a retired couple living on 2 fixed incomes that total less than $34,510. And finally, a retired individual who lives alone on a fixed income less than $25,515 per year. And so approximately 402,000 people living in Washington state will receive checks. This accounts for 1.2 million okay, so they will receive checks, and the amount of money they receive really depends on their income. So one-person households, for instance, will receive $50 in restitution, and a household with 2 people or more will receive $120. And Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson said this in a statement, and I like this comment a lot. He says, when powerful interests break the law and harm Washingtonians, my office holds them accountable and prioritizes getting money back to those who were most impacted. Washington families were cheated by corporate price fixing conspiracies they knew nothing about. And now those who felt this gouging most severely are receiving checks from my office. The holiday season puts a financial strain on families, and we hope Washingtonians are helped by these checks. Listen, what I care about the most is ensuring that corporations are held accountable when they engage in price gouging and price fixing. The only way that happens is if we have attorney generals like Bob Ferguson paying attention and actually pursuing litigation against these companies. I'm really happy to see that that's what happened here. I'm happy to see that there was some justice in this case. And again, it not only impacts people living in Washington state, it impacts the entire country, since these are corporations that sell their products, again, to 95% of the country. So I love to see it. I think this is the kind of action we should be expecting from lawmakers, from attorneys general. And so I wanted to give Bob Ferguson credit for doing this. It might seem like a small thing to some, but in a world where we keep getting disappointed by our elected lawmakers and various politicians, this is a little bit of a bright spot that I wanted to draw attention to.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a Young Turk.